hey YouTube, being as I'm in Germany, I thought it wouldn't be right to come here and not drive a few hours to the Porsche Museum in Zuffenhausen and just come see the home of Porsche and check out the history of what is one of the most amazing car brands ever. So I'm super excited to be here. It's amazing when you drive into Zuffenhausen because you have the whole of Porsche around you. All the cars pretty much that go all around the world are manufactured on this site. It's been really fascinating just to see all the different buildings, how it's all connected, and have a really incredible insight into the world of Porsche and how the cars are put together. Basically, I'm just dying to get in the museum. It's a brand new 911 Targa behind me. But anyway, yeah, let's get in the museum and take a look around. Love how you can see yourself in the ceiling. Check this out. So I never knew, but this is the world's first hybrid car built by Porsche in around 1900, and it used a combustion engine to power an electrical generator which drove rear wheels. Porsche massively ahead of the curve over 100 years ago. It's amazing when you look at cars like this Porsche Type 64 and just think that all of the aluminium bodywork is all formed and rolled and hand beaten into the shape. I find it incredible how people have the manual dexterity and skills to create shapes like this out of a sheet of aluminium. It's really quite, yeah, really impressive. Never ceases to amaze me how brave people must have been back in the day racing cars like this 917. When you look at where your feet are and the pedals are relative to the front axle, you know, your feet are right out front. If you have a front impact, your feet are going to be toast. And then you throw in the fact that you're sat right next to the fuel tank. Just, yeah, driving something like this flat out must have been pretty wild. This is pretty cool. Mechanical fuel injection. Just looking at how this is all connected and how it all fits together and works. It's pretty amazing. This is really fascinating. Whole kind of 3D exploded visual concept of the 12-cylinder engine. Seeing it in this way, it's really interesting, like all the mechanical air cooling for the cylinders, just even the size of the cylinder block. I mean, it's an absolute beast of an engine. No headrests on the seat and no hands device back in that day. So I'm up in the Nokia Tower, which is, well, it used to be a Nokia building, it's now part of Porsche. Claudia was just explaining to me that they have a bit of a space issue sometimes here because a lot of the production buildings are now kind of hemmed in by the villages and residential buildings around the site, that they have to be really quite clever and innovative in terms of how they use the area to maximise what they have available. And I'm going to flip the camera around and show you something quite cool. This building over here, you can just see this kind of bridge that goes over the road. So this is where the chassis are made, and then they come over the road on a kind of conveyor system into this building here, where they then go on to paint. Over here you've got the paint facility for the new Porsche Taycan, and we're hopefully going to be heading over there and having a quick look. I don't know if I can film in there because it's top secret, but maybe I'll ask nicely. And this is the local Porsche dealer building. So this is actually being now moved out of this area, and this building's going to be repurposed. pretty cool way to make the point that at speeds of 321 kilometers an hour or higher, this car could drive stuck to the ceiling. I just noticed how they're all in sync, so they rotate at the same angle at the same time. I mean, of course they do. This is Porsche. Why would they do anything else? 911 GT2, literally just perfection in white. Just the most amazing stance with those bolted on arches. If I could have any Porsche to take home, really might have to be that one. I remember seeing photos of this car at the time when it came out, this concept that Porsche did based on the 356 and the Porsche 550 Spider. This is the car that basically went on to become the Boxster. It's so amazing seeing all these cars, because for me, growing up, I remember seeing photographs of this car, this very car at the time, and to be able to walk around here and see things like this actually in the metal really brings back a lot of memories, and just noticing lots of really cool details that I don't remember from the time. It's really cool looking at how the RSR's developed. When I look at this one behind me from 2004, so I saw this generation of car racing at Le Mans when I first went in 2000, 2001, 2002. Just seeing how much wider the car's got over the years, and looking at things like the diffuser at the back, how much bigger and more complicated and how intricate it's become and more effective. If you look at the back of this car, the diffuser's kind of almost non-existent. It looks like an afterthought, which I'm sure it wasn't. It just shows, I guess, the progress over the years. You can really see what I mean looking at the current RSR. You look how much wider the car has got, and just the size and intricacy of the diffuser at the back, the amount of extra aero that generates, and it just looks so gorgeous in the white and red Coca-Cola colours. Give my back teeth to have a go in that. I've just discovered something super cool. You can get a surfboard on the roof of a 911. This is really good news. That was the only thing stopping me from getting a Porsche 911. Something to aim for now that I know this is possible. Well folks, that's the end of my tour around the Porsche Museum. It's been a fascinating, I've probably said fascinating too many times, really interesting going around here and seeing so many incredible cars in one place. I spent a couple of hours in there. I could have probably spent quite a bit longer, to be honest, because there's a lot to see. Unfortunately, I've got to shoot off. Another thing I'm really grateful for while I've been here has been a tour of the Taycan production site, and also a tour around the 911 production site, where in fact they build the 911, Boxster, the Cayman, and all the race 911s all on one production line. Porsche are the only manufacturer to do this. All the cars come along, and then all the bits arrive along the production line in sequence, particularly for that car, because obviously every car has been ordered to spec with its own combination of interior and exterior and options and everything. When I was asking the guy who did the tour, David, really lovely guy, he's worked at Porsche for 22 years. His passion and enthusiasm and pride really just came across in such a heartwarming way, to be honest. I was saying, how come Porsche are the only people that do this kind of manufacturing method? And he said, well, that's just really how we've always done it. We just do it that way because that's how we do it, and it works. I'm really into engineering and design. I love seeing how things were built. I mean, I worked in engineering for 10 years in my family business while I was still competing in motorsport. So through that job, and obviously like my degree in graphic design, I'm really fascinated by design and manufacturing and engineering and how things are made. So seeing all these things up close over the last 2 days has just been mind-blowing. I'm very grateful to the people at Proud Porsche, Porsche's LGBT network here, who invited me, and for someone like myself, it's really a dream come true to come somewhere like this and just have that level of access and insight into what goes on at the heart of Porsche. I think one thing that really comes across from everyone here is the passion and pride that everybody takes in their job. As soon as you start talking to anyone here, that just really flows from them. It's been really interesting to learn about everything that's happening at Porsche, also from a diversity and inclusion perspective. The people I met said being at Porsche is, it's like one huge family, and that really comes across. you really get that feeling. I hope I can come back again soon. So I'm going to jump in my car now and I'm going to drive back to England. I'm going to stop off near Cologne on the way and see some friends there, and then make my way back to the Channel Tunnel, back to my chunky little cat, and edit lots of videos. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, big shout out to my patrons. Lots of love to you guys. Thank you so much for helping support my channel and help support the content that I make. As always, folks, comment in the box, like my videos, subscribe, share, and please go check out Patreon. There's a link just here and in the description. There's some awesome benefits of becoming a patron, and if you become Platinum Patron, you also get one of my amazing GoCharlie caps, which have just come from America. They're super cool. Go check them out. And yeah, I'll see you all next Wednesday at 8 AM. Lots of love. Bye. Nearly forgot my stuff from the shop.